First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome to First Alert Weather Extra. Chief Meteorologist Wes White. Another busy afternoon and evening here tracking storms in the area. We've had some heavy rain moving through Birmingham, but it looks like that last storm that moved on through finally tapered off. We did have some really heavy rain at one moment, 5 to 6 inch rainfall rates per hour. You get a storm like that here in the summertime and it stays in one spot. It does not take long. Flooding can happen in a flash, and thankfully that storm did move on to the north. Let's go to our First Alert Sky Vision here. I was just checking out some of the views around the area. This is a look at Jasper Sanders Aviation. We've had some big lightning producers moving north of Cordova and not far from the Jasper area. There's Shelby County, but let's go back to Walker County here. There's yeah, look at that ominous looking sky there. That's from the downtown Jasper area. And the Birmingham, you know, we've had some rain moving through there. Sanders Southern Sky Aviation, 81 degrees. Storms moving through the Birmingham area. I bet this camera we've got some rain. Yeah, that's Summit, and you can see there it is coming down along Highway 78. But the thing is the lightning, the cloud-to-ground lightning. It is intense. I want to go to First Alert AccuTrack and track some of this wet weather. Meteorologist Jill Gilardi and meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We've been sending out a lot of updates this afternoon. Jill's on the radar controls as we go in for a close-up, and the area right now dealing with the heaviest of the rain is Dora. Check it out here, West Jefferson. That's right there around the Miller Steam Plant, the Quinton area, and points north. And I need to go out and visit the Wyatt community there someday. We're looking at Dora Junction and areas here in Walker County. There's Cordova, a little bit of rain, some showers, Warrior back towards Morris, and you can see the lightning. It's actually it's still popping in the Birmingham area. You can see right there around Colberg Road, and you get out towards Daniel Payne, and the rain, it's coming down. So the lightning still being detected. You need to stay indoors until this just continues to kind of fade away. Things have been pretty quiet off to the south and to the north. A lot of what we're seeing there, the storms are kind of on a downward trend already. Here's a look at Sylacauga, and this is right where we have a camera right here at Oak Grove, and we got a pop-up that's happening right there in southern Talladega County. Childersburg's back in here. This is going to be well east of places like Alabaster at the moment. There's Sycamore areas, but very, very tiny pop-up. You really got to zoom in. We had a nice little storm around Hamilton. That has since weakened, but notice a lot of this area in here earlier this afternoon, northern Calhoun County around Jacksonville, we had storms, but you can see a lot of this active weather today. You know, it's widespread, but not lasting quite as long, and it's happening a bit earlier in the afternoon. We hit that convective temperature there early afternoon, and storms happen, and then we actually have some time to enjoy before sunset, a decent cool down in many spots. And speaking of cool down, one of the next big things we're going to be talking about is going to be some lower humidity and a drop in those muggy levels as we go into the weekend. Actually, I was just noting one thing. Jill, you see this right in here? That's Jefferson County. So, all right. The rain, it's happening, it's cooled things off. So what ends up happening is as that cooler, dense air kind of rushes out at the surface, you get an outflow boundary, and that's from these storms collapsing, and that's it right there. I like to say it's like a mini cold front, and it's dropping to the south. So what will happen, and you can see actually right here around Oak Mountain, you see right there a little pop-up. It's kind of like a little snow plow. It kind of moves along and starts lifting the air, so it can help initiate development. We see that a lot during the summer, and we got one popping up right there, a little downpour around Oak Mountain, and also look at that right there around Hoover and River Chase Galleria. You can see right there starting to deal with the pop-up. So yep, there's a little bit of rain happening. That's around the Sky Ranch area, the Second Charles, and that general vicinity. You know, we're talking about the Hoover Library and a little pop-up shower that's happening right there just off of Lorna Road. And look at that, another scan. Look how quickly. So there we go. We have some pop-ups around Rocky Ridge Road. So yeah, keep an eye out. Still going to deal with some of these pop-ups as these showers and storms develop. And little outflow boundaries, kind of like boundary bumper car this time of the year as we monitor the summertime environments. Quite interesting to watch as things happen, but you see right there some weather in motion and some of the science happening right in front of us. A little outflow boundary interaction there in parts of Jefferson County. So we're going to be talking a little bit more though about areas being impacted, well, a lot more, and we're going to take you into the end of the week, show you what's on the way for the weekend. Here is also what else we have coming up here on First Alert Weather Extra. We're going to check in with Lauren, talk a little bit about this unsettled pattern, beach forecast, And looking back at July, we're going to check in on some of the climatology as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
And being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
Getting to the bottom of health and billing issues that may be hidden in the fine print.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. In your community, giving you a deeper perspective with the largest team dedicated to you. Showing new stories from overnight, helping you get through your day. With First Alert weather and traffic, getting to the point, not wasting your time, these are your mornings. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When moments turn severe, how do you find clarity?
This is your First Alert from the WBRC Fox 6 weather team. We're with you as we prepare for this threat.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the first alert wherever you are. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert weather team. Live, new, and on your side, beginning at 9 p.m. In a day filled with clutter and noise, WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else. With new updates, live and on the scene, answers for your money and your livelihood, with 6 on Your Side investigates. And your first alert for the hours and days ahead with the WBRC First Alert weather team. On your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Thus far, August has been, hot, humid, some storms around, exactly what we would expect in summertime. But how did this fare this summer thus far in terms of those climate normals? We check in with meteorologist Matt Daniel for a recap of July.
All right, we are in the first part of August, and we just got the latest outlook or the latest research from NOAA sort of give us the highlights of what has happened in July 2022. We've had some weird weather, some extremes in parts of the states, and I just wanted to give you that highlight. So it's been hot. July's been pretty hot and toasty for a good bit of the country. Our average temperature, when you average all of it together, was right around 76.4 degrees, which makes this past July the third warmest July on record. And record keepers been going back over 128 years. So third warmest on record. We saw historic flooding in parts of Missouri. That was on July 26th, and in parts of Kentucky on the 28th. And we've seen even more extreme flooding even after that. So we just had a very stagnant weather pattern where it's been dry, it's been staying dry, and where it's been wet, we've been seeing some heavy rainfall. And also we've been dealing with a lot of heat and wildfires, including 5.7 million acres that have been burned starting January 1st to July 31st. And that's nearly 1.5 times the average for this time of the year. And a lot of those wildfires have been out west. And of course, not only are they creating some destruction with property, but also you have to worry about the air quality. It can produce a lot of smoke, and that could cause some issues. Now, here's a graphic from NOAA showing those mean temperatures for July 2022. Just shows all the averages. And when you start seeing the darker reds, that's indicating much above average to even record warmest. When you see those dark reds, especially in Texas, a lot of spots recorded their record warmest ever for the month of July. And it's been pretty warm across the southeast, the central United States, and even as you go into the western half, which makes sense, we've had a lot of drought. And when you have a lot of dry conditions, you have sunshine, and that heats things up. The only areas that it saw near average temperatures was really parts of the northern plains and the Great Lakes Midwest area, where they've been relatively soggy. So there you go, near average temperatures there. What about precipitation, amounts of rain across the country for July? You start seeing the green colors. That is indicating areas of much above average rainfall. So we're seeing a lot of that. It's been pretty wet and unsettled across the eastern half of the country. So above average rainfall there, near average, like I said, as you go towards the Midwest and northern plains, and below average precipitation, of course, for Texas, where that drought continues across the region. Here's the latest drought monitor. Notice for Alabama, Georgia, Florida, we're doing pretty well. Not much in the way of drought, maybe some abnormally dry conditions for the northern third of Alabama. But that drought really starts to pick up farther west you go, especially in Texas, and continues out across the western United States. And we were talking about those wildfires. Got fires up in northern parts of California as you go into the Pacific Northwest, and sometimes that airflow will spread smoke across the country. So you see that light color in gray, that's indicating light amounts of smoke in the upper atmosphere. So notice some of that has even spread into parts of Oklahoma, into Arkansas, even in parts of the southeast and into the northeast. But all the nasty fires and thicker smoke has been mainly primarily in the Pacific Northwest. So that's a recap of July 2022. Of course, we are getting halfway into August, and we're going to continue to monitor this. And of course, next month we'll have an outlook from or the overall view of August 2022.
Thank you for that, Matt. And totally changing gears here before we go to break, we do have a breaking news update. We have a recently submitted viewer photo of a cat with a sunset. And we all love our cats here at the First Alert Weather Team, and Matt himself at Cat Daddy DeCarlo. So thanks to Lizzie for sending herself in, looking at that sunset, though Jill was just saying probably just checking out a bird. But we're just going to pretend that she was looking at the sunset, and it was a very artistic moment for her. But coming up in First Alert Weather Extra, we check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt for a look at this stubborn, unsettled weather pattern, but also maybe a little relief in the forecast. Meteorologist Jill Gilardi takes us, as always, beyond the 7-day. We'll be right back.
America's most admired home remodeling brand, West Shore Home, is making shower and bath replacements fast, easy, and convenient for homeowners all across the country. And today, Kirsten and I, we're talking shower and bath replacements and why you might want to consider starting your project right now.
So Joe, if you've been in your home for a few years, it's likely that you're seeing some problems in your shower or bath. It could be mold and mildew buildup, or maybe you just want something a little more new, a little more modern. Either way, West Shore Home is here to help. Right now, we're offering limited time savings with our flash sale. Give us a call and you can get 18 months of no payments and no interest financing. And on top of that, we'll take an additional $1,500 off every shower and bath project.
It's a fantastic deal. Now, on the financing, Kirsten, I'm sure there are a lot of people out there wondering exactly how that works. Can you explain that?
Sure. So what you're going to have is 18 months of flexible financing. What that means is you can keep your money now, and you won't have to make your first payment until a year and a half after your project is installed. And you won't need to worry about paying anything in interest during that time. This is the best plan for people looking to start their project right now while saving money.
Wow, so they're getting the flexible financing, and on top of that, $1,500 off per shower. That really is an incredible deal.
It definitely is. A lot of people sometimes are worried about starting a project like this because maybe they've had a bad experience with a project of their own. At West Shore Home, we understand those concerns. That's why all of our installers are employees of the company. They'll treat your house like it's their own while delivering a 5-star installation experience.
Yeah, we've been on those jobs many times. Their work really is amazing.
It definitely is. So let's take a look at a project we did recently. We were able to take this shower from this to this, all in just one day.
Love it. Folks, call West Shore Home now and take advantage of their shower and bath flash sale. Get 18 months of no payments and no interest financing, and for a limited time, get $1,500 off your shower. This offer ends Sunday, so don't wait. Call West Shore Home now.
All right, welcome back in First Alert Weather Extra as we take a look at the 7-day forecast. You can see a 60% chance of rain and storms here over the next couple of days, and this weekend some less humid air on the way. That's one of the next big things we're going to be talking about. Yesterday we gave you that first alert for the possibility of a cold front moving in this weekend. Don't typically see a strong cold front this time of the year, but sometimes you can get a little bit of a break in the humidity. We often, as we transition into fall, we start to get into more of kind of a dry heat sort of setup. in many cases, and it looks like that's going to be the trend for the start of the weekend. But notice not a major drop in temperatures here. It's mostly low humidity, and that's what's going to make it feel more comfortable at night, and especially during the early mornings. That's when you're really going to notice it. So Saturday morning is going to be a good morning. Plan to get out, do a little yard work, get out for a walk, and try to tackle some of those outdoor activities while it's nice and crisp. But looking at next week, we'll start to see those rain chances, though, going back up. It looks like next week, especially by the middle of next week, a good chance for rain and storms. But temperatures right there close to 90 degrees. Here's First Alert AccuTrack radar, and it's interesting here. Looks like there's kind of like a larger boundary that's kind of focused in here, northern Jefferson County back into St. Clair County. We've seen a lot of these storms kind of converging in this general zone. You actually look there, you can see there is a smaller outflow boundary being picked up on the radar moving south, and a couple of pop-ups happening. There was one around Hoover, one back in here towards the Chelsea area, but a lot of this stormy weather, some big lightning producers you can see moving north there and weakening around the Boldo area, and storms actually firing up now south to Cordova, so that lightning is starting to pick up. And there's another look, actually that's around Flat Creek, and you look at all this and it seems like it's trying to move north, but just kind of focus in on where some of that heavier rain's falling at the moment. You can see barely a movement with that, at least the heavier rain. So it's just going to have to kind of rain itself out there before we start to see some improvements. But still some showers hanging on from weakening storms back into St. Clair County, certainly a little bit cooler. Let's talk about the thermostat forecast over the next few days. And looks like we're going to have to crank up that AC again tomorrow and Thursday. Again, it's going to be very humid, very muggy overnights. And looking at the overnight hours, I think we're going to have some nice evenings again and later on this week. So that should bring a little bit of relief there, especially as we get in towards Saturday. You can see that muggy meter takes a tumble. We go from the yuck and the very humid into a little less humid and more pleasant there for the weekend. We were checking with some of our weather watchers early. I actually want to go over to the precipitation forecast. And first off, to show you this system in the tropics, that is a little bit weaker. We do expect as that moves on to the west direction here, it's going to run into an environment where it's a little bit drier. Some of that Saharan dust may help to weaken this with time. But bottom line on this, if you have a beach trip planned this weekend, no major impacts, even though it is going to continue to the west direction. It's going to kind of struggle here, but even if it develops into a depression, Alabama Gulf Coast this weekend, it's mostly those scattered afternoon storms that we're going to be tracking, but we'll keep an eye on that as we go into the next few days. I wanted to show you the rain chance breakdown from some of the global guidance as we go through the rest of the week, and you can see here storms likely tomorrow, also on Thursday. Pretty good coverage. We look at the state, even for us here in the Tennessee Valley, down on the coastal plain. You can see there quite a bit of rain. The Wiregrass area, down into the Florida Panhandle. Looks like Friday, those higher rain chances moving south. So down into Baldwin County and places like Enterprise and areas there to the south, you're probably going to run into some of that heavy rain. But further north, we're starting to trend drier. In fact, Friday, places like Hamilton, Coleman will probably stay dry all day if this continues to verify, and we get that less muggy weather moving in, so mainly dry for our weekend. And then in the early next week, we'll start to see that mugginess making a return to our area. But that's looking at the next 7 days, just kind of going back into the next 24 hours. This is some of the high-resolution guidance from the high-resolution rapid refresh model. Yeah, try to say that a few times. That's one of the high-res models, updates hourly, and you can see as we look at tonight that there's a possibility that some of this wet weather could still be on the map. Areas to the west, northwest into Marion County, back into Coleman County through 11 o'clock. So check in with us, 9, 10 o'clock, probably a few showers that we're still tracking. Overnight low temperatures around 70 again. Morning clouds giving way to some breaks, and then we have more scattered storms. Model data, this just like yesterday. It didn't show a lot, but as we saw today, the scattered storms will be there, quite numerous in coverage, starting by lunchtime. Keep a watch on the First Alert weather app before you take your lunch break. Check in with Jill tomorrow. We're going to be tracking some of this wet weather, and you can see right in there in the afternoon hours. You check back in, we'll have some scattered storms, especially according to this model shows the southwestern areas. And here's another look at just how that deeper tropical moisture, the deeper moisture gets pushed further south. You see it's not a huge change, but it will be noticeable, especially going into Saturday morning. And we'll certainly take what we can get this time of the year with some improvements. And I mentioned again with that tropical system, if anything changes there, we will certainly let you know. But there's that 7-day forecast again. And also next week, be monitoring for an increase in the chance of rain. I want to bring in meteorologist Jill Gilardi. And Jill, even JP today was sharing on social media. I saw you guys sharing some of the outlooks. You know, we got that, we see it often the Climate Prediction Center's outlook for the temperature pattern, but it looks like the big impacts for us, at least this weekend, will be that improvement in the humidity going into Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at the humidity dropping a little bit, and then as we get into the beyond the 7-day time frame period or so, we're going to be talking about maybe below average temperatures. Thank you, Lauren, for switching that over. Appreciate it. All right, so this is what the map you probably saw on social media, and we're talking about below average temperatures. It's possible. Now, doesn't mean, oh my gosh, it's going to be in the 50s at night and, 70s for highs. Remember, our normal high for this time of year is 91. So below average could be, 89. I'm just saying that there is a chance that these temperatures may be a little bit, below average. We will see. Hopefully it's a lot of it, right? Instead of a little bit. But we are going to be talking about rainfall maybe increasing as well. So that could correlate very well with why those temperatures could be below average. If you have more clouds and rain, you're not going to see that temperature get as high during the day. So it's kind of like today, we had some upper mid 80s for highs. So that could be the case. We'll wait and see as we get a little closer, of course, as to just what kind of cool down we're expecting, but certainly could see some heavier amounts of rain as we go beyond the 7-day. And then, of course, we're always keeping a watch on the tropics beyond the 7-day. And, this time of year, you start to really pay attention to any of those little waves coming off the coast of Africa. And as we fast forward in time, again, what I started to notice was this feature here on the 21st, 22nd, especially as it gets to about the 24th, we're starting to see some of that counterclockwise rotation. So maybe we'll start to see things becoming a little bit more active as we head closer to the end of the month. But in the short term, again, that feature that Wes was talking about, that chance of development right now is very low. So again, it's those pop-up showers and thunderstorms we'll be monitoring for this time of year. That's a look at beyond the 7-day.
All right, coming up, we're going to be taking a look at the beach forecast and another radar check with meteorologist Lauren Linehan as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
These are your mornings, and Good Day Alabama is built to start them right. The only station staying local on all platforms all morning long. Prepare for a good day. Prepare with Good Day Alabama.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
How events nationwide are affecting you here at home.
WBRC Fox 6 is always here on your side, ready to help. This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
In a season of constant change, when you need to know first, when you need to prepare, only one team gives you the first alert. A trusted team staying ahead of what's next in your neighborhood. Stay alert. Stay with the First Alert Weather Team.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
Being another set of eyes looking out for your kids and your family.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
Live, new, and on your side. Beginning at 9 p.m., WBRC Fox 6 News breaks down what you need to know before anyone else on your favorite platforms every night. WBRC Fox 6 News at 9 and 10. On your side.
When 6 on Your Side investigates, the issues that directly impact you matter most to us.
That's why we're getting answers on rising prices and how you can save some money.
This is why 6 on Your Side investigates.
How will the weather impact your roads? The First Alert Weather app has live traffic updates and road conditions for a safer commute. This is why we First Alert.
WBRC Fox 6 News. On your side.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Before we get to Mickey's beach forecasts, we did kind of want to take you back in time a little bit. Y'all remember back in 2010 when there was the Gulf BP oil spill? Well, a new report shows traces of oil from the 2010 Deepwater Horizon spill were actually detectable as recently as 2020. And goodness knows 2020 was a mess of a year enough without having to add in the oil. Some of the chemicals actually sank to the sea floor and, believe it or not, are still there. The spill polluted the shorelines of 4 states, including here at home in Alabama, and is blamed for the deaths of hundreds of fish, birds, and sea turtles. So always important to do what we can to take care of the environment, right? Well, if you are going to be heading down to the Gulf, we now check in with Mickey Ferguson for that beach forecast.
Hey, so I was talking to a few families and folks that hadn't started back to school yet. So for those of you who don't start back either this week or you got a few more days, how about a beach forecast if you're taking that last little hurrah for summertime before you start back to school? Want to let you know, down at the Gulf Coast, they're still dealing with the same kind of scenario. I was just down there this past weekend, and they had the yellow flags and purple flags up. And if you're familiar with this, you already know what I'm talking about. But the purple flags typically have to do with marine life, and that's usually jellyfish are out in the water. So keep that into account when you're heading down there. And also the yellow flags is a moderate rip current threat, and that's going to be going on for tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, it looks like. The Gulf water temperature feels pretty good out there, coming in at 86 degrees. Now, here's another thing. We do have some scattered showers down there at the Gulf beaches for the next several days. Now, it was the same basic forecast when I went, but it was so scattered at times you could get out and enjoy the beach, and then you'd have a rogue thunderstorm that would last a little while, and then you'd see it clear up again. So we're just looking at scattered showers at the beaches going into this week, and tapering off maybe a little bit as we get closer into the weekend. Potential rainfall totals, let's talk about that. It's not a ton of rain because it is scattered showers coming down there, so between now and Friday, maybe a ½ an inch in Mobile, but as far as Pensacola and down the beach, not quite as high of rainfall totals are expected with this scenario, with it being scattered showers. So your 7-day Gulf Coast beach forecast does show a pretty darn good chance of rain going into tomorrow all the way through Friday. Slightly lower rain chance as we get into the weekend. That's where we could see a little bit of sunshine break through the clouds. Going into Monday, a 40 to 50% chance of rain, but that'd be your better shot at getting out there and maybe enjoying a little sunshine before you have to go back to school or work. If you're going to the mountains instead, if the mountains is your thing, a good chance of rain there as well for tomorrow into Thursday. Now we do make it into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's looking pretty good for Friday through the weekend. So if you can't make it to the beach or you don't like that forecast for the beach, you can head to the mountains and enjoy that, especially as we get closer in to the weekend. And while you're there, you can snap us a picture and send it in to us. You just scroll down to the bottom of our free download of our WBRC First Alert weather app, and you can send that in to us. And while you're there on our weather app, you can check the conditions and the forecast right there at your fingertips. Have a great time at the beach or the mountains.
I think I'll still go with the beach this time of the year. We'll save the mountains for the fall when we want to get into our basic fall girl vibes. In the meantime, not so basic the radar this evening. Our First Alert AccuTrack is showing one thunderstorm especially that's been holding on in Walker County. You'll see around Barney up towards Cordova. This is along I-22 where you're seeing some of that heaviest rain falling south and east of Jasper. Also some intense lightning from Dora down towards Pumpkin Center. So we put those First Alert times here on the map. Getting around high level 7:07. Good Springs 7:11, Littleton 7:15, and Cedar Lake right around 7:21 this evening. So we'll still have off and on showers and storms. I really do think that activity is going to get a little better once we get past sunset as we lose that daytime heating. But in the meantime, as we look at that 7-day forecast here, we'll keep scattered showers and storms around for at least Thursday. But we've been talking about that next big thing being a front that's coming through. Now a summer front, you know, we got to temper our expectations a little bit, but at least least it will be less humid. So a very positive first alert for that on Saturday, with temperatures getting down into the 60s on Saturday and Sunday morning. It'll still be in the 90s in the afternoon, but we'll take what we can get. And then back to the usual antics next week. But you can check in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt tonight for the latest on your forecast on First at 9. I'm WBRC First Alert Meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Tuesday evening.